My name is Jay. Welcome to my apartment in the Bella Vista neighborhood of Panama City. Okay, so this is my kitchen. So it is only me here in the apartment, so I just wanted something small to get the job done. That's exactly what this kitchen is. My air fryer is what gets the most use. And right off of the kitchen is the laundry room. So you have the utility sink, the washer and dryer. So yeah, all of the appliances came with the apartment. This is my foyer, my little drop-off area, and I am a no shoes household, so shoe locker and shoes go there, and keys. It's a little drop-off point. So this is my living dining area. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, I don't sit at this dining room often, but I love sitting over there on the couch to watch TV. It's my favorite spot. And this is the patio. So we are right on Central Hispania, which is a pretty main road in the city. So there's lots of traffic. So I come out here like when I want to feel energized and stuff like that. But it's a pretty great view of the city. You have the Bay Area on this side. Ancon Hill is ahead of you. Albrook, and then Metropolitan Natural Park and La Cresta's neighborhood is behind me. So it's a pretty good view. I come out there to look at the road. So this is where the rooms are in the bathroom. So this is the guest room / office / storage room / whatever doesn't have a place goes in this room. So that's what this room is for. I'm hoping to use it more often so that people come and visit, because no one has used that bed yet, but I've been encouraging people. This is the guest bathroom. This is the bathroom that guests use, and then also that's what I use to get ready too, because it has a little bit more space. This is my bedroom. So bedroom is pretty compact as well, but I love it because, you know, what am I doing in here except relaxing? So I love that there are floor-to-ceiling windows in the bedroom. It makes for a really nice view. I pretty much wake up every morning and I see the Panamanian flag on Ancon Hill. That's really nice. And I hear the hustle and bustle of the street down below. And off of the bedroom is my bathroom. It's pretty small. There's a little window there, and that's about it. I added a little applique there because it was facing directly into the other building. But yeah, that is pretty much the apartment. Okay, my name is Jay. I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina, a sea island just outside of Charleston, actually Johns Island. And yeah. Okay, so life before Panama. So I was born and raised in Charleston. I never lived anywhere else. I have always been in Charleston. I've always loved traveling, but like Charleston has just been my home base. Both sides of my family are from Charleston, several like generations back, Charleston, Johns Island specifically. So that's just a place I've always really been rooted in and never really wanted to leave. I think it's a beautiful place. I feel like having my family there is really amazing, and always being able to be around them. I think like years leading up to me deciding to move, I kind of realized that like things were changing as far as like family dynamics, and my son was going to be graduating soon, and I had always lived in Charleston, and so it was always in the back of my mind, like, what would it be if I like moved and went somewhere else? What could that look like, and how would I do that? So I have been working remotely for 10 years now. since 2016. So I've always had the option of living in other places, but I've never wanted to. But the few years leading up to me moving is when I just was kind of like, what would it be like if I did move? Because I do love Charleston, but I don't feel like this is my forever home. I would say once my son was in senior year of high school and I realized like I was renting, my lease was going to be ending soon, the following year. And at first I thought that I would probably move to Charlotte, actually. I was going to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, because in the years preceding that, because I've been working home and I kind of was an introvert and like rarely went out, I just found that I was like really isolated, and I was like, I need to get out and do things. So I started like playing pickleball, I started camping, and funnily enough, like the closest Black camping outdoor group was in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's why I was thinking about moving to Charlotte, because so many of the activities that I would do, like as far as outdoors, like hiking and camping and that kind of stuff, was more based in North Carolina. And I just felt like it was time to move and leave Charleston in general. So Charlotte was just the place that I was considering. And as I was looking around at rentals in Charlotte, I realized I would not be saving money. And I don't know, there's just some part of my brain where I'm like, I want to find the most economical, smart, like financially smart way to do this. And I really want the financial benefit of making like a big decision like this. I don't want to like be like, oh, I moved just to say I moved, and I still pay the exact same thing in rent. I still live the exact kind of life pretty much. I'm just in like another city doing it. So once I realized that Charlotte was very similar, and I realized that I really wasn't excited about it, and it was just me kind of moving just to move, I started really seriously thinking about the possibility of, well, what if I like leave the country? And I was like, it's just a move. Charlotte's a 3-hour drive away. Another country, a Central American country, is a 3-hour flight away. Like I mean, I know it's not the same, but that's how I started like reasoning and like making sense of it in my brain, of being like, it's not that far away. It's not that big of a difference of like, you know, moving to another city in the US. That was a lie, by the way. It's definitely a big difference. But this is the process I worked through. Once I realized, like kind of wrapped my head around that, I just started researching places. Costa Rica is like where I wanted to go first, just because it sounds dreamy, like, oh, I moved to Costa Rica. But like as I started doing research on YouTube, like a true millennial, I guess, I don't know, I started hearing stories about like what people's everyday like lived experience in Costa Rica is if they don't live in San Juan. And I didn't want to live in San Juan because I heard it was very Americanized. And the infrastructure in areas outside of that was just like not feasible for me, because I still need to work. And I need like reliable internet access and that kind of thing. So Costa Rica was kind of like eliminated pretty quick. And in my research of Costa Rica, Panama City kept coming up like just being name dropped. And I had never even thought in my life like, oh, I want to move to Panama. Like Panama was a country that like never even, it crossed my radar. I knew it existed, but like I was never interested in it in any way. So when I kept hearing Panama City come up in videos about Costa Rica, I was like, well, let me check out Panama City. What is Panama City like? And honestly, I think I truly didn't understand the kind of city it was before I moved here. I think I got a better understanding of like what the dynamics were like to move in the city and to live in the city as an expat based on the videos I watched. But I don't think I realized that it like rivaled major American cities in a lot of ways. And yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised and happy to hear that. So once I heard enough about Panama City and realized that there was like a substantial like Black expat population here, I felt comfortable enough to move, because I felt like, well, I'm gonna at least have some kind of like built-in community already here when I arrive. Because I had seen from my YouTube videos that people were in Facebook groups and like, you know, gathering and doing things and exploring the country. So I was like, this will be a good city to go to, because there's a Black expat population here. And that felt like my little bit of cushion since I was coming alone. The visa I do have right now is a tourist visa. So I do not have Panamanian residency. And I feel like that's like important to talk about and represent, because the pensionado program is like such a great, amazing program. Like, I feel like if you're retired with some type of lifetime income, like there's literally no reason why you should not get a pensionado visa. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer. However, that's not everyone's story. And like, everyone isn't retired, everyone's not like a veteran, everyone's not, like, they don't have lifetime income. And they're, maybe because of their age, they're still working age, they still need to earn income. I think it's good for people like that to be aware that there still is a path available for you if you don't qualify for, say, a pensionado visa. So the tourist visa for Panama for US citizens specifically, I know, is that you can stay here for up to 6 months, so 180 days. And the 6 months does restart every time you exit the country. So as long as you exit Panama within 180 days from when you arrive, when you come back, that 180 days starts all over again. So I honestly like haven't tried, like I haven't been like, oh, I need to leave the country. It's been like, I had to go back to the States for some reason. So I've been back to the States maybe like 4 times since I've been here. Or I love to travel. So I'll go to another country and that starts the clock all over again. So going to Costa Rica, I've been to Costa Rica, Guatemala, Colombia, like very quick trips flight-wise, and very economical as well. And that starts the clock over. So there is a pathway if you are a digital nomad for you to be here for up to 6 months at a time. And I believe that US citizens are extended this visa because it is lucrative for the economy to have someone coming here and basically putting into the local economy as a tourist while they're here long term. So that is a viable option. There are also other visas that are available to you. I don't want to say like there's no other visas available to you. The barrier to entry though is just much higher than, say, a pensionado visa. There's like the Friendly Nations visa. That is something that is pitched to me a lot, like when I have asked about residency and stuff like that. And like the fees, the attorney fees I've been quoted are like $5,000 to $8,000, which is completely different than the pensionado visa, a lot higher. And the process is longer as well. And it's a lot more complicated. You have to form a company, you have to maintain the company for the time that you have residency. You have to make sure like certain accounting things and government things are handled. And basically with that, you form a company, you hire yourself as the employee basically, and that allows you to get temporary residency in Panama. And if you maintain the company and maintain temporary residency for 2 years, then you can apply for permanent residency. So that is an option as well, but as you can hear, like much difference in price, much different in time, much different in a lot of things. So the tourist visa is there as an option. I'm just saying. It is an option. And it is 100% legal for anyone who has questions about that. It is 100% legal. The Panama customs agents let me in every single time because it is legal. Okay, that's all I have to say. It has made it easier in other countries. So how did I learn to speak Spanish? When I tell you that when I arrived here, I know like hola and adios and numbers to like 10. I did not know Spanish at all. And I think it was really great that I came here not knowing Spanish, because it was a rude awakening to me about, and you know what it actually was? This was, I think, the key. When I tell you, so I don't know if we're going to get to that, but I moved to Panama sight unseen. I've never been here in my life. I told you I've never even like considered coming to Panama. So I got here and I didn't do the like, I guess, normal, if you're retired, if you have, you know, people that are helping you like with the process where they have an apartment or they're coming to look at apartments. I rented an Airbnb for 1 month in Condado del Rey area, which is like, it's a very high like Asian population, very like working class area. Like, I love it. It's like real Panama City, I feel like, in a lot of ways. Outside, it's definitely outside of the expat bubble is my point. And not having people like try to speak English to me, or like maybe they truly just didn't know how to speak English, or they just were gonna not speak English. I actually loved that, because it made me be like, I gotta learn Spanish. Like, I gotta learn Spanish. Like, just me, who I am, I cannot exist here and I do not know this language. So living there for a month and having to learn phrases like, can you open the door? Or like having to learn numbers, like whatever it was, like just navigating the city and buying groceries, whatever it was, and having to either use my Google Translate or I don't know, whatever. I was like, I have to learn Spanish. So what had happened was, it was like really good fate, I guess. I had been working, so when I got here, I was working like when I got here. So I worked 8 to 5 every day. And so a lot of my first month of being here was honestly like just getting myself together, setting my desk up for the month, like making sure that I really didn't want my job to have any reason to be like, what's going on over there with her? Is she doing her work? Has something changed? I didn't want any reason for them to inspect and look at me closer, because I did not tell my job I was going to Panama. But so I was really focused on work. And then like a month after being here, I decided to go on this bike tour of the city. It was like an Airbnb experience. And I met this woman. Her dad's Panamanian, and she came back and forth between the States and Panama all the time, around my age. And as we were waiting for the bike tour to start, she was like, oh, do you know any Spanish? And I was like, oh, my Spanish, I don't know any Spanish. I really, really need help. Like, I got to figure something out. And she was like, oh, I have this tutor, like a Spanish tutor. He's really, really good. He's Panamanian, and he'll like really teach you Spanish. So that was the first Panamanian friend I made, my Spanish tutor. So for, I don't know, a very long time, like months and months and months and months, I would literally work 8 to 5 and then have Spanish class from 6 to 8, like 4 days a week. So I was like learning Spanish. And honestly, it got a little bit overwhelming, so I had to like pare it down to 2 days a week. But so that's what kind of prompted me into speaking Spanish, like having to exist in a part of the city that is outside of the expat bubble. And then also, like when I got here, my plan was that I was gonna live in Panama City for 2 years and then like move somewhere in the interior, like once I get familiar with the different towns and cities. But well, first, I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. But I was like, there's no reason I would move out into like the middle of nowhere by myself and I can't even speak the language. So me wanting to move into the interior and me having to live in an expat, outside of the expat bubble, is what like really, really motivated me to learn Spanish. So I've been in IT for a long time. I'm older than I look. Well, okay, so I started out like my very, very first real job was at Verizon Wireless, like in a call center. So like doing like telecommunications technical support. But it's evolved over the years, and like 2016 is when I was like, okay, I want to see what this remote lifestyle is about. Like, people can work remotely, you can work from home. I was like, I have to work from home. I don't know how, but I have to. So me wanting to make that transition into a remote job is what got me into like the tech field specifically, in software support. So yeah, 10 years ago, I started working software support, and it's just frontline support for like B2B software. So bugs that come up in the software, we help troubleshoot them, help document them for developers and share that information with them so that they can improve the product, ideate on like features to add to the product, or just fix it. And after doing that, I've kind of basically like evolved into a place where I didn't want to work in tech anymore, because tech was a lot. And tech is one of those fields where the benefits are so great. It kind of makes the like stressors and microaggressions that you experience all the time like this golden handcuff. But I just literally, I'm a kind of person like I cannot be, I don't know, in a place where I know that I'm not like thriving in the ways that matter to me. So I transitioned out of tech, and then kind of, well, basically after the tech, during the pandemic, I launched a coaching business. So I launched a coaching business and did that for a couple of years. And then when I was like, okay, I'm ready to like go back to a 9 to 5, I wanted to go into like the nonprofit industry. So I still do tech things. I am the tech person or tech department in a like nonprofit, and also like association management industry. So those industries are where I've been working. It was a huge catalyst for me deciding to move abroad. I think like once you know, like, okay, I have done my best and I have raised this child, and I like know I have been like a fully present parent and like really like pouring my all into this, especially as a single mom. I'll speak for myself as a single mom. Like, you want to dedicate so much of your like love and attention and all of that to your child. And once they get older and, you know, they become like adults and they're like, I'm living my own life and I want to do what I want to do. You're like, you know what? Yes, you should. You absolutely should. I'm going to do that too. So that's kind of like where, like, knowing that I was about to become an empty nester, and my son was going to like take his own journey and do like what was best for him. Like, I wanted to give myself the permission to like do the same. And yeah, I think that's like when I really started thinking about it. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna always do something for me. So I've never been someone that's like, I am so like, no, like I be doing stuff for me a lot. However, I think I just knew that I would feel comfortable once my son was graduated, once he had decided to go in direction he wanted to go in. That's when I would feel comfortable being like, okay, I can leave the country. Like, I feel okay leaving the country. And not only like that, like I know he has access to family, a support system, all of that, and you know, physically there. So I think that's when I was like, okay, I can leave. It's time for me to go. But it was never because like I've been like depriving myself of joy and pleasure and fun. Like, no, probably confusion, and understandably, very understandably, because so I will say I am an adventurous one. My very first solo trip was an international trip into Nicaragua, and people were like, huh? Like, why are you going to Nicaragua? That's so random. But I don't know. I've always kind of like been intrigued by Central America and like the higher quality of living that people report living here. And then, you know, it also being a more like economically like affordable place to live. And it just being a beautiful place to live. So yeah, I've always been intrigued with Central America, but I thought maybe one day it's possible in the future I could live here, but I definitely didn't think, you know, in the recent future. So I hadn't really been discussing it with anyone. And I was a little bit discussing with some family members that I was thinking about moving to Charlotte. So I'm sure when, you know, weeks or months or whenever later they heard that I was moving to Panama, they were like, what? Why? So yeah, they just I'm probably a little bit confused, but then I guess eventually supportive, because I mean, they know that I'm going to do it if I said I'm going to do it. I feel like he's someone that if it's good for you, and this is me, like if you like it, I love it. And so I don't think he thought I was crazy. He just was like, okay. Because again, if I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. It's not like anyone could talk me out of it or shame me out of it or scare me out of it, which that definitely does. There's a little bit of that here and there. Like, I'm going to do it if I say I'm going to do it. So, yeah, everyone was very supportive. I'm sure some people thought I was crazy. I'm sure people thought I was crazy, but no one told me that. Yes, I've been intrigued with Central America since my first solo trip here in the region. And so that's why when I thought about moving, and there's also proximity to the States. It's pretty easy to get back to the States. When I thought about moving, I almost immediately knew it would be Central America when I said, why not leave the country, move outside of the country or leave the country. So yeah, I pretty much knew it would be this region. But like I said, Panama was not the country that I was targeting initially. It was Costa Rica that I was interested in. And then my research in that led me to Panama City because I realized from watching YouTube videos and things that like the infrastructure was much better here. I did know that like the city still deals with like power outages, occasional water outages. However, many of the buildings here have like backup power, backup generator, backup reservoirs for water. So there's been several times while I was working when like the power went out or something like that, but every building I've been, like it turns back on like pretty immediately. So I just knew for me wanting to earn money and like me wanting to like not have too much of a culture shock, that a city like Panama City would be a good like landing spot, like a softer landing spot for me. I booked an Airbnb for a month, and it was like, I don't know, honestly, it was like moving to a new city. Honestly, it wasn't a huge shift, and I know that that's only because I was working so much when I first moved here. So my experience is probably drastically different than someone who had a lot of free time and they really got to explore the city. I really didn't do that. So it was a little isolating, but I feel like getting out and like having to interact with the city and having to like interact with a whole new culture, I think it was a lot more tiring for me than I realized it was. Just because it really is like, I think moving is one of the top stressors in life, and like moving to another country and needing to learn another language and needing to navigate like a whole other culture. It is a lot. And working full-time at the same time and like in like really intense Spanish class. So my first few months in Panama were pretty like, it probably was a little like overwhelming and stressful. Like I kind of like had to like get my bearings. And I say it's stressful, but it didn't feel stressful. It just was, looking back, I'm realizing like you dealt with and like juggled a lot when you came here. But, you know, it's a journey, it's an experience, it's a learning experience. I learned a lot. It was a challenge, but like I learned a lot. When I got here and I realized like, I don't know why I did not know this before I moved here, but I didn't know that there were like tall, like, I don't know if they're considered skyscrapers. Are they considered skyscrapers? But very tall buildings. I didn't know that it was that kind of city. I don't know why I didn't know that. Like I knew it was a city, but I didn't know like, you know, in the way that it was. And I've never lived in a place like that. I'm from the country. So very rural area, like fields, like dirt roads, like very rural area. So moving to a city from, you know, a more suburban or rural way of living was a lot. So maybe what surprised me is how noisy it was. Oh my gosh, you know what surprised me? I know what it is. The fireworks. I was like, bro, it's fireworks shows every day here. There's always fireworks. That's what surprised me, the fireworks. I think, the Spanish one was definitely like a shock and a slap in the face. Like needing to know Spanish, because I think I'd watched so many videos of expats saying, you can get by, like you don't have to learn. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say or put words in anyone's mouth if they didn't say that, but I feel like the common sentiment was, you can get by with English, like you'll be fine. It's absolutely fine. And I think that is true in the expat bubble, but I didn't know that I didn't book my room in the expat bubble. So you cannot just get by with English and it is not fine. So that was a huge surprise to me. Girl, it's easy. Like you literally don't have to do anything but be a US citizen. That's literally it. So take advantage of that privilege. Like it is a privilege to like have that passport where a country is going to allow you to be somewhere for 6 months. And it's renewable every time you enter the country. So use the privilege of being a US citizen to create a life that you want for yourself. Just follow the rules of the visa, obviously, please. Like, please follow the rules. Stay here for no longer than 6 months or 180 days. But like, I feel like it's almost like the pensionado visa, like why not do it? That's how I feel about the tourist visa. Literally, why not?
How much does the tourist visa cost you?
$0. You don't do anything. You just show up with your American passport and that's it. No, because I've always been out of the country for like at least 24 hours. I'm sure it's been more than 24 hours at certain points. But anyway, I don't know if there's a time frame, but I don't think there is. If there is, it's probably really, really low, like 24 hours or something like that. But yeah. Okay, one thing with the tourist visa, because you are not a resident of Panama, every time you fly into Panama, you need to show that you are flying out of Panama or exiting Panama within the next 6 months. So you need to have a plane ticket, bus ticket, I don't know, however ways you could get out of Panama, like you need to show proof that you fully intend to leave within the 180 days. So that will look like, for me, for example, I flew to Costa Rica for my birthday. When I checked in at the airport in Costa Rica, they would not issue me my boarding pass because I did not have proof that once I was going back to Panama that I was going to be leaving. So I had to buy a plane ticket. So I will say the US major airline carriers, you can book a plane ticket for 24 hours and you have a 24-hour refund period to get your ticket fully refunded. So do with that what you will. I feel like I only notice that I'm a single woman in Panama when I'm in Ubers and I'm like practicing my Spanish with Uber drivers and we're like having conversations. So the conversations are, where are you from? How long have you been here? Why'd you come here? And like they're always very shocked and surprised that I like didn't have any family here, like didn't know anyone when I came. I knew zero people when I came here. I knew zero people when I came here. They're always very, very surprised. They're like, alone by yourself? So honestly, I like it. I feel like a lot of women my age who are here, who are digital nomads, well, I feel like it's a mixture. Like some women are married or partnered, but some are single as well. And I feel like those of us who are like, we like create a community within ourselves to like get together and do things and like, you know, like for holidays, we'll like have different events and gatherings and stuff like that. So I enjoy being a single woman in Panama. Safe, very safe. I've lived in like 5 different areas of the city, and I felt safe in every area of the city. So, yeah. I like Bella Vista. I live here. I feel like it's a good, I'm on the edge of Bella Vista, so I'm only walkable in a certain direction, but I feel like Bella Vista is a very walkable neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood with like a lot of different restaurants and shops and stuff. And it's also close to the metro, which I love the metro. I'm like the biggest fan of the Panama Metro. So I think it's a good neighborhood. I like it. It's also very close to Casco Viejo, which is like the area town that has like more of the clubs or rooftops or like that kind of thing. So like if you're into going out and doing things, I feel like as a single woman, you would like living in Bella Vista because it has easy access to Casco Viejo. Casco Viejo and Metro. And I also liked El Cangrejo. That's the target area. Like when I ended up in this apartment, I was not searching out Bella Vista. I was interested in moving to either El Carmen or El Cangrejo. But I just couldn't find apartments in those areas that like felt like non-gringoed and like and just, you know, the vibe that I like. So I ended up here in Bella Vista, and I'm very, very happy that I did. I love my neighborhood and building and all of that. Okay, I'm gonna say it's easy and it's hard. So I feel like it's hard if you don't know the WhatsApp groups. If you are not in WhatsApp groups, you're doing Panama City wrong, I feel. And I know that because I did Panama City without WhatsApp groups for like 6 months. And what happened is I had to go back to the States in May of last year. So just before the 6 months of being here. And on the way back in a connection in Atlanta, I sat next to a Black woman and I was like, ooh, a Black woman flying to Panama City. I wonder if she lives here. So we started talking and she was like, you're not in the so-and-so WhatsApp group? And I was like, no, what's that WhatsApp group? And she was like, oh my gosh, let me add you. And then so like once you're added to one group, you know, you'll meet people and then you'll be added to another group and you'll hear about another group and you'll be added to that group. And like before long, you're in like 60 groups. And you need to like learn the archive button and learn the mute button. And I say this as someone, like I said, one of the reasons I moved is because I did feel isolated being a remote worker and like not like kind of like creating this lifestyle where you really don't have to go out if you don't want to. And so being here in Panama City and like being a part of so many groups and so many like different communities with like varied interests. Like I'm in an introverts group. Yes, it's a group for introverts and we meet. we do things together as introverts. I'm in like a pickleball group, which I haven't done for a while because I had to be on bed rest. But hiking groups, walking groups, neighborhood groups. I'm in a neighborhood women's group for Bella Vista. Like there's so many groups. So yeah, my social life is completely different than when I lived in the States. I remember like one night being out on a Tuesday night at a speakeasy in Casco Viejo with like 8 other women. And I was like, bro, this is a life. I never did this in the United States. I never did stuff like this. So like, I just was like, I can't believe I'm out on a Tuesday night, like doing something fun with like other women who are like me. Like, this is so amazing. So I think like being in a place where there's so many other expats who also want community and who also like want to enjoy themselves, and they're also adventurous like you, because you kind of have to be to move to another country. Like you're gonna find so many like-minded people, and you're gonna find some unlike-minded people. But like the great thing is it's a big, diverse, wide community. So like you will find your people, I feel like. And I don't want to say, because I have heard that some people feel like they haven't found their tribe while here. And I guess I get that. So there are other like expat hubs around the world. Thailand comes up a lot, Mexico City, like different places. And so I will say one thing about being social here and like making friends, especially because, you know, these aren't people who are retired, right? And like, you know, lifelong residents of Panama. It's a transient lifestyle for many of the people who are our age. Like they want to explore other countries. They're doing this or that. So like there's so many people who I have met here and they live in another country now. They moved. So sometimes once in a while you'll get that, like, you know, people aren't gonna be around forever, but it's still nice to connect with like interesting people. The metro is probably one of my favorite things about Panama City. I feel like, so the traffic in Panama City is so cray-cray. Like, okay, traffic is one of my pet peeves. So I think this might be why I like the metro so much, because traffic is one of my pet peeves. I don't know if it's like the impatient American in me. I don't know if it's just like the like frustration and people love the horns here in Panama, like the constant honking. So I just don't like traffic. And the metro is so quick and efficient and easy. And I swear this is no shade to Panama, because I love Panama, but that is not your experience with every single thing like in the city. It's not always quick or efficient or easy or reliable. It's a lot more of a relaxed and laid back place, which is part of why we love it, right? So like we embrace that. But the metro is quick, it's easy, it's clean. Like they have all these signs around like telling you how to be a good passenger and how to be a considerate person. And like, it's not noisy, it's not dirty like other like major cities in the States. There's like a lot of police presence in many of the stations as well. So like it's extremely safe. And I would honestly say it's extremely safe even when there's not a police presence. And it's just so cheap. Like Ubers are cheap as well. So that's an option. Like I'll give for an example. I was at Albrook with a friend and it was like 3 or 4 o'clock, like when traffic's gonna start to pick up. And she was like, oh, Uber's $10 to go where she was. I'm gonna call an Uber. And I was like, we're at Albrook, we are getting on the metro. We're not getting, like Albrook is a terminal transportation hub of the city. And the metro is like, that's where it ends. And I was like, we're not paying $10 for Uber when the metro, I don't even know what it is. Maybe 50, it's not even 50 cents, I don't think. I don't know how much it is for a ride, but it's quicker and way cheaper and a much more enjoyable for me experience because I'm not sitting in traffic. So I love the metro a lot. I just feel like it gets you to other areas of the city extremely quickly, and it's like a very, very easy train to ride. So yeah, I would say find community. I feel like I did know, like I said, the fact that there was a Black expat community here already, that was like very like alive and well and thriving is what made me feel I guess, comfortable enough to like go to a city I've never been to with people with, not knowing anyone. Um, so definitely find community. I would say make sure to put time in your calendar, like if you're working and if you're busy or, need time to acclimate before you can like really get out and do things. Put something on your calendar to like go meet people in person and get out there and meet people. I mean, safety first. Always think about your safety. Um, so, one of the questions is, do you feel safe in Panama? Like, yes, I feel safe in Panama. And, use your good judgment. So, like, just be safe. Oh, one thing I make sure that I did when I first moved here and no one else knew me in the city. So like if I went missing, no one in the city would know that I was missing because I didn't know anybody. So back home, I like created a like last seen in Panama, which is probably a really bad joke because like in true crime when a woman disappears, they go like, oh, she was last seen in whatever. That was the name of my chat. And my sister and my mother were in it and a friend. So basically I would be like, hey, I'm going here. Hey, I'm going here. Or when I started meeting up with other expats, I'll be like, hey, I'm going here with so-and-so. Just so somebody in the world could like know where I was and know where I should have been and whatever, or who I was last with. But then like once I start to form relationships with people here, I, just, we tell each other. And so sometimes if I'll go off to another place, like regionally, like in another country, I'll tell someone here. And I also tell people back home. There's a chat for that. And you could tell them, hey, you can mute this chat. Just if you don't hear back from me from whatever, I'll be like, I'm going to so-and-so. I'll update you when I'm there, that kind of stuff. So I would just say check in with your family, like check in with somebody, like make sure someone knows where you are if you're by yourself, and have fun. Much lower. I pay less in a metropolitan city in a high rise than I paid like living in the suburbs in the States. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a New Yorkish. I don't know. Nobody in New York get mad at me or come for me because I really don't know. But I'm guessing it's like being in a metropolitan city in the States, but for a much lower price point. And I think, again, if you step outside of the expat bubble, and I say that just because I do know like a lot of people come, and this is me speaking as a single person, because a lot of people come, they're retired, they're with partners, and they are sick or they have families. So like they have to come with plans and like getting help while here before they come like from a lawyer or a real estate agent, like makes sense. But I will say, like, if you do go the DIY option, then you are going to find like more bang for your buck, I feel like, just because you're not like paying expat tax. And maybe it's not even just the expat tax, the convenience tax. So, because it is a lot less convenient to look for an apartment on your own. Oh, that's another thing that surprised me is I didn't realize like that real estate agents had to show you apartments. Like, how in the States you could just go look at an apartment, like just go tour. I didn't realize that, you have to like wait for a realtor to be available and whatever. But yeah, probably my electric bill and how low it used to be. My electric bill used to be like $30, $40. That was surprising coming from the States, living in very hot Charleston, South Carolina, where the AC runs all day. And yeah, I would say that's the only thing that surprised me as far as expenses. Oh, and well, I don't know if it's an expense, but it is for me because I don't have a car, how inexpensive Ubers were. That was like seeing $2 Uber rides or $3 Uber rides is very interesting. Probably the metro. I mean, I know people know that it's cheap, but I really don't think people realize how much money you can save if you just take the metro, the train, and the bus too. I'm just not as familiar with buses, but the train, big fan. And it's probably traveling outside of places like Albrook Mall or Multi Plaza Mall or wherever else, and like going to like outside areas. Like, speaking of the train, I took the train to Los Andes yesterday and like basically found like that's a whole other like shopping, like major shopping hub that's like outside of like Panama City. And I was like, oh, I have to come back here. Yeah, I saw a bunch of stores that I like. They're very, very affordable. So, you know, being willing to go to travel a little bit further or just explore and see what else is out there beyond like your neighborhood, you'll, you know, probably find a lot more least expensive options when it comes to everything: clothes, food, entertainment, all of it. Having a cleaner and a household helper, that's really nice. That is really nice. And yeah, I guess that's one luxury. And then, oh, the luxury of not having to drive. I did not like driving. I did not like driving. But obviously in the States, it's not like economically feasible to take an Uber everywhere or wherever the heck else. Here, I can take an Uber everywhere. I can take an Uber everywhere. I don't, because it's such a walkable area and I'm walking more and all of that stuff. But like, I can take an Uber everywhere here. So I would say the luxury of not having to drive, and having household help is, I don't even know. I don't know. I guess it's one of those things, like a hindsight thing. You'll see it more later. I mean, I felt, well, number one, I know Spanish now. I'm not great. I'm not amazing at Spanish. I'm still very, very elementary, but I am extremely proud of myself that I can have conversations with Uber drivers and people that I interact with on a daily, and like really have full-on conversations in another language. That's so cool to me, because when I tell you I did not know Spanish, I knew nothing. So that's cool. Learning another language, and I guess just being more open and willing to explore. I feel like that's always been me, but like after moving to another country and it goes well, like you're like, there's no reason not to explore. Like there's no reason not to see like what else is out there. I will say, like, I do feel like the world has become a lot smaller for me, because like talking to people and then being like, well, I'm moving to Thailand, or I'm moving to South Africa, or I came from Vietnam, or I used to live in Saudi Arabia. It's just like, these are like, the people that are here have done so many things. And like, I guess being around people who are so adventurous and who are like so I guess similar to you, and like willing to take the leap and do like, I guess kind of non-traditional things, really makes you be like, oh, the world's not that small. Like I could just decide to go to Europe next week, or I don't know, I could do this or that. So I feel like yeah, being here like has changed me in that, like going to another country is just like, yeah, I definitely have to do that. I've never said to myself, I have to go to Thailand. But now I'm saying to myself, I have to go to Thailand. What have I learned about myself? I guess that I'm a pretty tough cookie. I don't know. I guess I kind of knew that already, but like, I don't know. I think sometimes I didn't really like think of the gravity of truly moving to another place that I'd never been, like by myself and not knowing anyone, and like being able to like create a life for myself here that I really, really love and enjoy. So I guess I would just say that you could do anything. Like I've always known that, but I guess like the more you do things, you really are like, you really could do anything. So I guess that's what I've learned about myself. No, I feel like it's kind of just like deepened the passions and interests that I already had. Like pickleball was one of my passions, and like getting here and meeting a pickleball community who was like really, really into it as well. Like that was really nice. And like having the freedom and flexibility to actually like play it often. Or like I like doing nice things and going to nice dinners and like finding a community of other women who like doing the same thing, and like it's at this beautiful view on this rooftop, and like the food is really good. And like, oh, Panama has a great food culture. Great. If you like food, you will like here. Panama City, like you will really, really like it. So yeah, I guess just my interests have deepened. Same for travel. Like I liked travel, so like, and I like local, regional, slower travel. So like being in a place where it's not that big of a country, so I can go to Bocas del Toro or Playa Caracol or Santiago de Veraguas or wherever else, and like really immerse myself in like local culture. Just feels like, I don't know, really good, like a privilege. So when I'm working, it's me working and then doing something with peers or some community group or something like that. Then after I was laid off, so I was laid off in September of last year, I was kind of just, I did whatever I wanted to do. It was completely unstructured. I felt like I was living a retired life. I did literally whatever I wanted to do. That was nice. And then I had a period after that where I had surgery. And then so after surgery, I was in recovery, and I was really like kind of homed in like here and like not really going anywhere or doing anything. Then after that, traveling. So honestly, I'm saying all that to say there really has been no like normal or typical day here for me, because I feel like I've gone through so many phases already, even just being here in like a year and a half. So I don't know. I would say my day is dictated on like whatever is most, I don't know, whatever is top of mind for me. And that.
Here we go. Beach or mountain?
I done broke the rules already. Okay, I'm just gonna say beach just because that's the area that I have explored the most since being here, and Panamanian beaches are beautiful. But so I did say that I wanted to move to like, you know, other areas, and a mountain area, I think that just would be so beautiful here, especially in Panama. And I told y'all like I was into camping and hiking and stuff like that. So like being out in an area like that where I would be able to be like outdoorsy, like that sounds so fun to me. But I'll choose beach. This was not rapid fire. I'm so sorry. Okay, next ones will be rapid fire.
Panama City or countryside?
Panama City.
Favorite Panamanian food?
Ooh, patacones.
Biggest culture shock?
I don't know. What was the biggest culture shock? I guess like in the service industry, it's a very different vibe than like the States.
One thing you wish you knew before moving?
Oh, get in the WhatsApp groups.
Best thing about living in Panama?
This is gonna sound so corny, but every day is a new adventure. Like,
would you do it all over again?
Absolutely, no question.
One word to describe Panama?
Beautiful, no, hermosa.
All right, last, I'm going to do a powerful closing question here. If there's an empty nester retiree or single woman watching this interview right now and dreaming about moving abroad, what would you want them to know?
If you're thinking about dreaming and moving abroad, you can do it. So figure out what your pathway is to do that. There are many different pathways. There are many different ways. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And know that you have the support system here of other expats who had the same exact dream. And yeah, come have fun, girl. I don't know.
Hey, phenomenal interview.
Okay, great.